in this video we're gonna spawn from random point. Okay, we're gonna spawn enemy random point. Okay, firstly we're gonna delete from the scene view. We have a prefab means over here, so we can drag any like this. Okay, so we have saved as you can see. So we're gonna spawn from random point. Okay, random point. To to uh, to do that, go to hierarchy, right click on that. Okay, create empty game object, name that to spawn. Okay, spawner. Okay, spawn points. Okay, spawn points, and go to transform of that game object in the inspector, right click. Okay, and reset. Select in any gizmos. As you can see, I selected orange one, so you can do so. And right click on that spawn point, make a empty game object. Okay, empty game object. Select a gizmos. I am selecting the yellow one, as you can select as well that. Okay, and drag that to over. We will create 4 points, and those from those points we're gonna spawn enemy. Okay, so so control D to duplicate that. Okay, control D to duplicate. Control D once more, and once more. Okay, so we will create 4 point. From this point we're gonna spawn enemy. So we also need spawner script. Okay, to spawn enemy. What we gonna do? So go to assets. Okay, go to assets, right click, create C# script, name it spawner. Okay, spawner, name it spawner, and hit enter. Okay, and hit enter. Okay, hit enter and open that up in Visual Studio. Okay, open that up in Visual Studio. So what we gonna do? We gonna delete this the pre-generated function. Okay, firstly what we need to spawn, we gonna spawn this enemy prefab. If I open that up, just for wait for compiling it. Okay, so we're gonna spawn this enemy prefab. Okay, this enemy prefab. So what we gonna do? Go to script. Okay, so create public. Okay, public game object. Okay, game object, call it enemy. Okay, enemy prefab. Okay, enemy prefab, call it enemy prefab. Enemy prefab, and we also need those point. Okay, if I go head back to Unity, we gonna spawn from this point. Okay, so what we gonna do? We also gonna create position, empty position. Okay, so we need to make array. Okay, we need to make array of those position, and we're gonna put all of this point into an array, and then we will pick up an random point, and from that point we're gonna spawn the enemy. Okay, so we're gonna create public. Okay, public transform. Okay, those are positions, so that's why transform, and make square bracket to make array. Okay, and call it spawn points. Okay, spawn points. Okay, spawn points. So control S and head back to Unity. Control S and head back to Unity. Okay, you will able to see an empty game object of enemy prefab. Okay, and then you will able to see an array of position. Okay, we're gonna put all of this point into that array. Okay, so select the spawn point. Okay, and from the assets you created an spawner script, just attach that script to this spawn point game object. Okay, and now we have enemy prefab. Okay, enemy prefab, we're gonna drag the enemy prefab, so we will have a link or reference that, and we have spawn points. As you can see, I'm just we have 4 points, 1 2 3 4. So we created this four position. Okay, you can drag them like 1 goes to 1, 2 goes to 2, 3 goes to 3. Okay, and 4 goes to 4. You can do this, but what we gonna do? We're gonna make it 0 for now. A shortcut for this is that just lock the inspector. In the inspector you can see the lock button in the right. Okay, just click on that, and then select all of this point, okay, all of this point, and drag it to spawn points. Okay, now we have this is pretty much helpful than doing that. Okay, so we have these points. So 0 is the first one, 0 is the first one, 1 is the second one. Okay, and 2 and third is 2 is the third one. Okay, and 3 is the fourth one. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna spawn from a random point enemy prefab. So go to open that up, spawner script once more. Okay, open that up, and what are we gonna do in the start function? We're gonna check firstly start function. We're gonna spawn to spawn enemy. Okay, to spawn enemy we have to use instantiate function. So we're gonna use instantiate. Sorry, I messed up. Just start. Okay, start function. So in this to we have to use instantiate function, and instantiate function takes three arguments: what you want to spawn, and where you where you want to spawn, and the rotation. And the third thing is rotation. We want to spawn enemy prefab. Okay, enemy prefab and point. So let's suppose we're gonna spawn from this point. Okay, from this. Okay, this point, from this point. This point is, if I select this point is this second one. Okay, so its index is 1, so we have to pass the index. Okay, index is 1. Okay, the second one, 0 is the first one, second one is the 1. Okay, sorry, 0 is the first one, second one is the 1. Okay, third one is the 2, and fourth one is the 3. Okay, so if I, so let's suppose we're gonna spawn from this point. Okay, so 0 1. So what we're gonna do, we have to do spawn points. Okay, spawn points, and make square bracket and pass the index. Okay, pass the index, and then dot position. Okay, then dot position. Okay, and then comma. Okay, and the third thing is rotation. We don't want rotation, so what we gonna do, we're gonna do quaternion. Okay, quaternion dot identity, this means no rotation, and close that off by semicolon, and control S on your keyboard to save this. Okay, so this function, start function, get call when the game start. In the start, what we are doing, we are spawning a enemy from this this position. Okay, and the start function get called just one time when the game start. It don't get call second time, third time, just the first time call. The update function calls every time. Okay, so we are from the second point we're gonna able to see. So firstly, firstly select those point. Okay, select those point, move it little bit down. Okay, move it little bit down, and file, go to file and save, or control S on your keyboard to save this. Okay, and hit play. You will able to see from this point. Okay, from this point the enemy will spawn. Okay, just wait for compiling it. As you can see, from that point enemy gets spawned, but we're gonna what we're gonna do, we're gonna spawn from random position. We don't want to from this just specific this one. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create an integer. Okay, integer, we're gonna store number like 1 2 3 4. So what we're gonna do, random. Okay, random. Okay, random dot range. Okay, random dot range. For the first, put 0, and and we're gonna do spawn point dot length, means how many points we have. Spawn point dot length. So this is, so it will give us a random number. Okay, from 0 to spawn point dot length. Okay, how many points we have, 4 points we have. So it will give the index. So 0 is the first one, as you can see. So this is spawn point dot length. It will give you the index of the index, give you the index. So the index will be 3. Okay, spawn point dot length, which is 4 elements. 0 is the first one, and the third one is fourth. Okay, so it will give a random number between 0 and 3. Okay, it will give a random number. Okay, point 0 and 3, 0 to 3. Okay, from random it can be 1 2 3 or 0. Okay, it will give. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna store this number into a variable, integer. Okay, we will call it int. We will call this index. Okay, index equal to this. Whatever we getting, we will get from this random dot range function give us random number. Okay, it will give 0 to 3. Okay, spawn point dot length, it will give 0 to 3 random number, and that random number we are putting into this index. So let's suppose it gives 1, so index will be 1. If I pass over here, instead of 1, pass index. Okay, index. Let's suppose this give us a 3, so index becomes 3, and spawn point index 3, spawn point 3 dot position means if I go to 3, 3 is the fourth one. As you can see, element 3 is the fourth one. Okay, so it will spawn from the fourth position, but it will give us random number. Okay, so a random number, and we are putting that random number into this, and from that number we are spawning the enemy prefabs, and we are doing it start function. So a start function get called when the game start, it will call one time. So we will get so control s on your keyboard to save that, and you will able to see from a random point that enemy get spawned. Okay, that enemy get spawned. So if I just hit play, okay, hit play, you will able to see from random point it will spawn. As you can see, so 0 1 2, so it spawn from 2 position, the third one. Okay, okay, now if I play once more, you will able to see it will spawn from another point. Okay, spawn point dot length means this fourth element. Okay, the third one being spawned. Just hit play once more. You will able to see that. As you can see from the first point, it's get spawned. So what we gonna do, instead of printing out in the start, we don't wanna do that. We want to do want to do when the enemy dies. Okay, when the enemy dies, after that we will call. Okay, after that we will call to spawn another game object. So we will leave this as it is. Okay, we will create another function to spawn enemy. Okay, to spawn enemy. So what we gonna do, uh, we gonna firstly we gonna make public. Okay, public, we gonna make a function. Okay, function. So we need to set this public. For why I said this public, because we gonna call this function to another script. That's why we said it as a public, and then you have to write void. Okay, we will call like spawn enemy, spawn enemy, enemy. Okay, spawn enemy, spawn enemy, and brackets, these brackets and these brackets. Okay, so what we gonna do, we gonna do the same thing. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. Instead of we're gonna do the same thing. So control s, okay, control c to copy this, and control v to paste this. So we're gonna do the same thing, but we will call this function when the first enemy get destroy it. In the start function we are spawning a enemy, as you can see. Okay, if that enemy dies, if that enemy get destroyed, we will call this function, and this function also gonna spawn an enemy. As you can see, it will instantiate enemy prefab at random position, which you can see we are getting random position and we are putting into this index, and then from that position we are spawning this enemy prefab and no rotation. Okay, so we're gonna call this function when the enemy dies. So what we need, firstly control S on your keyboard to save the progress and head back to Unity. Okay, head back to Unity, so we need to open up the enemy script, because from there the game object get destroyed or enemy max health becomes 0. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna open up the enemy script. Okay, we're gonna open up the enemy script. So over here, as you can see, if max health becomes 0 or lesser than 0, we are destroying the game object itself. Before destroying, we're gonna call that call this function. Okay, to call this function we need to use, okay, we need to use this find game object of find object of type. Okay, find object of type, we need to use this find object of or type, and the object is type of a script. Which script? This is spawner script, so we have to pass spawner. Okay, spawner, sorry, spawner, as you can see, spawner. Okay, and then you have to make these brackets. Okay, brackets and dot, we are going to that script. Okay, spawner script, and we're gonna access this and spawn enemy function. Okay, so go head back to enemy script again. Dot dot we will say spawn enemy, spawn enemy, spawn enemy. So what we are doing, firstly we are finding. Okay, firstly when this enemy gets died, before he died, we are going to finding a object of type script, which is spawner. Over here we are going to that script and accessing the enemy, enemy spawn enemy function. As you can see, and spawn enemy function instantiate enemy prefect at random position. Okay, uh, so this is what's happening. Okay, if we set it to like private, or let's say private. Okay, private, we won't able to access this script. As you can see, red line under red line becomes. Okay, becomes, so we need to make that public instead of private. Okay, instead of private we need to make public, because public give the ability to access the function. Okay, control s. Okay, control s, and then control s on your keyboard. Okay, and head back to Unity. You will able to see when the first enemy get diet. Okay, get diet, get diet. Over here, if I go to spawner script, in the start function, okay, we are spawning an enemy. Okay, if enemy, and then if that enemy get destroyed or get destroyed, and then we are calling this function from that enemy script. Okay, control s on your keyboard to save this. Okay, and hit play button, you will able to see that. Okay, you will able to see that when the first enemy died. Okay, from random position the second enemy will spawn. Okay, as you can see, from random point the second enemy gets spawn. Okay, from random point, as you can see, from random point. So we also not destroying the bullet after hitting the enemy. As you can see, I guess, yes, you can see it's not destroying. So what we gonna do, we need to open up the player bullet. Okay, then which we are shooting from those. this bullet. Okay, this is not enemy bullet, this is player bullet. Okay, so we need to open that up. Okay, we need to open that up. So what we gonna do, as we can see, when this bullet, okay, collide or trigger with enemy, okay, trigger with enemy, and when this bullet trigger with something and that game object has tag enemy, okay, we are getting uh, so enemy getting damage. Okay, enemy getting damage. After taking damage, we gonna destroy this game object. Okay, destroy, we need to use destroy function. Okay, destroy this dot game object means this game object. So firstly these functions get called when something when this white bullet, okay, white bullet trigger with that enemy. Okay, then it's calling, and then we are going to enemy script. From there, take damage function. After taking damage, we are destroying this white bullet. Okay, this player bullet. So control S on your keyboard. This is last part of this series, space shooter. We will make another game. Okay, okay, we will make another game. And if I play now, this is last part of space shooter tutorial. Okay, I hope you understand basic knowledge of C# coding and Unity. So as you can see, we are destroying the bullet as well. So if I destroy, as you can see, okay, so this is the last video of this space shooter tutorial. If you like it, please like this video. If you like it, really enjoy it and understand the logic behind it. Okay, and if you are new to my channel, just subscribe that. Okay, you will get in depth explaining of about game development. And if you have any question, okay, regarding any question about this game or anything else, okay, just reach out or comment below. I will I will likely to reply you. Okay, and lastly, thanks for watching this video. And